Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hentges with Beyond the Chart, and in this stock chart analysis video, I take a look at Facebook from a weekly and daily perspective. What's next? So stay tuned. All right, we're going to start off here with the weekly chart, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a look at this from an Elliott wave perspective on the long-term chart. So this is all the trading that we've got on Facebook, and this last bar is the weekly bar for the week ending June 3rd. Today is Monday, June 6th, and hope everyone's having a great week. Let's start off here with, this is the low point. This is what I'll call the 0 point, and I believe we had a primary wave 1, 2, and then 3 got a little bit tricky, but I mean, it definitely was a third wave. It definitely started going vertical in here. I believe it ended here, and where it got messy was in this whole section here from October 2014 all the way through August of last year of 2015. I believe it was a combination of flats, two flats, a double correction, what I call it, a flat with a connecting X wave and then another flat. And then what we've got here is a fifth wave, diagonal wave. Now, this final wave in here is really questionable. Let me come back in. This is an ending diagonal wave. It usually occurs in the fifth and final wave. In an Elliott wave, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you correct. And what you have to correct is you got to correct this entire move, okay? And we'll talk about that in just a second. Let me go in here. Let's take a look real quick at the, well, not the weekly, at the daily chart. And this is a questionable reading I've got in here. And I've noticed all the data sources, various data sources have got this intraday high up here. I think it's kind of an error or an outlier, one trade or something, because when I look at the 60-minute chart, the highest trading for that day was like 119.4 or something like that. So if we assume that this is an error of some kind, I leave this as a possibility. The ending diagonal should have 5 points to it, okay? And it's a series of 3 waves. So right now, this looks like a 1, kind of a pullback 2 or sideways pullback 2, and that leaves open the option for the end of this, a third little leg up in here, because I don't think this was the true third leg. That would push to the top of this diagonal, and that would be the upper 20s, and then possibly a throw over that would take it into like 130 or maybe a little bit above 130. So that's the possibility I'm still holding out for. But that means this is the 5th minor wave within the 5th intermediate wave of this 5th primary wave. Bottom line is it's a 5 all the way around and it's ending. So the whole point is the end is near here, and this allows for one more push up. So now, if that's the case and we've got this ending diagonal, what are we looking at? This sideways correction in here went 45 weeks. So actually this is that was a little error that I corrected. It should be greater than 45 weeks. This went 45 weeks. This pullback was 66% of this entire first move. It pulled back 66%. Okay, so what's going to happen on the correction? The correction that corrects this entire move will take longer than 45 weeks. That's why I've got greater than 45 weeks, and should be a correction greater than 66%. Okay, now here, this line, where this line is at around 53, is 66%. So we're talking about eventually going below this, and we're talking about taking 45 weeks long to make that happen. So that's, that's fairly long in here. It's like 11 months of some kind of correction, and it doesn't look like it started yet. That's the other thing to keep in mind, is the bear market for Facebook doesn't really start until this ending diagonal, until you break down out of this ending diagonal. Okay, so that's where you look back over here on the daily chart, and you can see this a little bit clearer. It needs to break down out of this ending diagonal, and then I would consider that the bear market is underway, and it will correct this entire move. And then, at that point, once you've had that major correction, then you look for the next leg up. All right, that's it for today. Hit the subscribe button here on the screen if you're not a subscriber. And if you thought the video was helpful, please hit the thumbs up button and the like button here on YouTube. And remember to share the video. I really appreciate that. All right, everyone, we'll have a great day. We'll talk to you on the next video.